Good afternoon, Chords and Notes Nation. I hope you guys are doing well. Today I am doing another audiobook review for those of you that care. The Call of Cthulhu by H.P. Lovecraft. Performed by Christopher Strong. Published by Sounds Terrifying. Yeah, so this is 2 discs worth and about an hour and a half, hour and 28 minutes. So very short listen. It's a short story apparently. H.P. Lovecraft, someone who I've always known has been out there, never really knew what he did, that sort of thing. I have a close friend who's really into H.P. Lovecraft. Excuse me. So finally, I got around to listening to or reading some Lovecraft. So, The Call of Cthulhu. It's about an underwater monster that's coming to threaten mankind. It's Lovecraft's, reportedly it's Lovecraft's most famous tale. And it is only narrated by one person who did a decent job. I would have to say probably could have been read a little bit better to make it a little more interesting. If I understand correctly, Lovecraft was somewhere in the early 20th century as an author, so some of his writing was a little thick in vernacular, and spent a lot of time describing and setting background. I guess it's been probably about a week since I listened to this, because I actually rented from the library several audiobooks, and I didn't. This review is not done right away after, so I do have to go on memory, which is a fleeting thing these days. Anyways, so basically the story is about this cult of people around the world that are worshiping and trying to call Cthulhu because he's calling to them. And they do some heinous acts. And he's just this giant squid thing that's like, I don't know, 7,000 feet tall or whatever. That's coming for mankind from underwater, from an underwater city. I don't know. It was decent. It's a decent story. It is the kind of story that I wasn't happy with the audiobook version of it, but I do want to read the actual written word version of it. So I have to give it a 2 out of 4 at this point, but that's with an asterisk. There's not a whole lot much more that I can say because it's short. It's an hour and a half. So, but if you are interested in Lovecraft, this would be the one to get started with. I don't want to tear down his writing because he is such an impactful and important author, and I have such limited exposure to him. So just because my review of the audiobook might not be impressive does not mean that the story itself is unimpressive. I think it is better off read, or if someone else has done a different version of it. Oftentimes, while listening to audiobooks, I've come across Well, basically, they could have used people that give it a little more life, a little more vibrance. So oftentimes the books become diminished, or the impact of the books become diminished based on the quality of the reader or the narrator, voice actor, whatever you want to call them. So, anyways, Call of Cthulhu. Um, I would listen to it. I'd read it if I were you. If you're interested in it, and just give it a shot. Other than that, not much more to say. Hope you're doing well. Thanks. Bye.